those of you that are just joining us, if this is your first time, you've never been on here before, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Dr. Matt James, and this is one of our webinars. We do a lot of webinars on various topics: neuro-linguistic programming, HUNA, mental and emotional release, even things on health and fitness. And we have a lot of upcoming webinars. We have a bunch scheduled for February, for March. And so I'm really excited because one of the webinars that was in huge demand, the last time I did this webinar, I think was about 2 years ago, in 2013. And the webinar was all about goal setting. It was, how do you, as an individual, get better at setting a goal? Now, before we begin and before I delve into it, I want to point out a few things. First of all, let me get the slides going here. When I'm on the road, I don't have a second monitor with me. And so what that means is that I'm not able to see messages or questions or whatnot that you guys come up with. At the end, if there's time, I'll see if there's any questions. We have a lot of people on this webinar. So I will do my best to take any questions as we begin to wrap it up. If not, you can always post your questions on Facebook, and I'll be able to get back to you, or someone else from our team will be able to get back to you and help out. Adrian's on here. Adrian's one of our team members, as is Greg. Greg's on here as well. And Ted, I saw Ted, the guy that does all of our web work. He's on here too. Greg, Adrian, they're going to be able to help out and answer any questions. And if you have any technical questions that come up, you might see Adrian chiming in and answering that question for you. The next thing is, we're going to be talking tonight about momentum and SMART goals. If you have never done a training with me before, if you've never done a practitioner training, this is your first webinar. You have only seen some videos on YouTube or whatnot. If this is your first time here, I need to point a couple of things out. First of all, this webinar includes people that have been studying with me for 12, 15 years. I have people on this webinar that I have known for a significant amount of time. And then I see some names on here that I don't think I've ever seen before. And so I point that out because I'm teaching to a wide group, a wide range of understanding. For those of you that have done a lot of trainings with me, practitioner, master practitioner, HUNA, you're going to have some repeat in this, but also some new stuff. For those of you that have never done anything, a few times I'm going to have to mention things for the other people. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to talk about an opportunity to learn more about this and also give you guys a gift, something that you can take away and do something with to truly get something out of this webinar. I also want to go over just some basic housekeeping. First of all, I think most of you have found us on Facebook. My personal Facebook page is Dr. Matt. If you type in Dr. Matt, no period on the DR, I think I pop up there somewhere on the top. And also, if you type in Dr. Matt, you'll see our company page. These are the URLs. Empowerment Partnership is the name of our company. And also, if you haven't yet signed up for our email list, drmatt.com is a separate database. That's my blog. And I'm a regular blogger on Psychology Today and the Huffington Post. So on drmatt.com, we post when a new blog has gone up. So you want to sign up for that. And on nlp.com, that is our main site for our trainings and upcoming events, product launching, you name it. So make sure you're on both of those databases. And email, you can email me at drmatt@nlp.com. That does go through our office. We get a ton of emails every day. So if you email, you not know who's going to respond, and if it needs to get up to me, I'll sometimes respond directly to that. So here's what I want to do. What we are covering tonight is momentum. Momentum is dealing with energy and focus. We're going to be talking about SMART goals. How do you write your goal in a way that increases your level of chances for success? Finding your why, your passion, your motivation. And then, like I said earlier, we love to give back, giving you guys an opportunity to not only learn more, but to truly delve into this material at a deeper level. And then if there's time, I'll take some questions. And I'm really attempting to get through a lot of material tonight. For those of you that are on here, and if you have any audio problems or video problems, we're going to be recording this, and so you'll be able to check it out later on our YouTube channel. And for me, the most important thing is delving right into this content and getting going. So I want to start off by saying this stuff that I teach, NLP, HUNA, hypnosis, mental and emotional release therapy, the health and fitness things that we've recently added into our company. These are things that I apply in my own life. And one of the biggest things that I have found across the board is that successful people have goals. They have something that they are aiming for. They have something that they have as a target. Look, shift happens. Life changes. You never know what's going to happen day by day. The stock market could go up, it could go down. We could have something negative could happen on the other side of the planet and affect us over here. Here's what I know. All of these things being equal, when you have a goal, when you have a target, when you have something that you're going for, it gives you momentum. And here's the deal. Successful people have goals. Successful people have a target that they have out there, something that they are moving towards, something that they are going for. I haven't always had goals out there in every area. I learned this stuff at a very early age. And for whatever reason, I would always set goals in my career. I would always have a goal to get the next promotion, to get a raise, to open up a new market. This month, we're going to be teaching our practitioner training in Austin. We're in Austin, Texas. 3 years ago, we weren't in Austin. I set a goal. Hey, let's go into a new market. Let's find a market. All of these things lined up, and we have one of the most amazing trainings in Austin. If you don't have a goal, there's no target out there. There's nothing that you're going for. Sitting around and hoping that positive things happen, that's great. I believe in positive thinking. I also believe that positive thinking alone isn't going to solve your problems. What's going to solve your problems is delving into the depth of who you are, tapping into the resources that are already there, and generating some momentum to get to the things that you want. I think it's like 10% of all New Year's resolutions succeed. 90-something% of them fail. It's some crazy statistic like that. I used to weigh 235 pounds, and it was not muscle. It was fat. I went from being a really in shape, athletic, teenager to gaining a ton of weight. When I took a step back and I looked at myself, one of the big things that I was lacking was any specific goal. In high school, I had a goal. I had a goal to make a varsity team. I played tennis. I played volleyball. I had a goal to not only maintain a certain level of health, but to increase my ability to run, to jump, to endurance. And when I got out of high school, I had none of those goals. When I went into college, I didn't do any sports. I didn't do any of those things. All of these goals disappeared. And in a short amount of time, I found myself in a situation of total unhealthy behaviors. I took a step back and I asked, where did all my momentum go? I used to have so much momentum, so much direction in health and fitness, and it was just such a simple answer. I had no goals. I've taught thousands of people. Every year I get to meet about 1,000 or so people, and I teach goal setting. And one of the things that I hear over and over again is I hear these individuals come up to me and say, after this talk on goal setting, I'm inspired to just do this, to create some target out there. Even if I get there, it's not the right target, at least I'm moving towards something and discovering more about who I am. So I want to cover tonight momentum. It's New Year's. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago. You probably are either in the middle of your goals, you are just getting started, or maybe the momentum's begun to taper off. We're going to talk about momentum, and that deals with energy. And I'm talking about legitimate, actual tangible energy that gets you up in the morning and gives you drive. We're talking about focus, what it takes to be focused in, what recent studies say, scientific evidence of what it takes to be truly focused in your life. I'm going to give you a formula called SMART goals, an easy way for you to take your goal, organize it, and generate more desire and inspiration than ever before. And then we're going to talk about your why, your passion, your motivation, your inspiration. Because without that, you can lose momentum as well. And then I'll talk at the end about our upcoming trainings. I'll keep it really brief, and we'll wrap up. So let's get going. Let's have some fun. So first of all, I need to talk about what energy is. I got to talk a little bit about energy. Now, for those of you that have never met me, we have a few hundred people on this webinar right now. I'm just watching the list increase as I talk. Some people have a little bit of an aversion to energy. They think I'm talking about it being woo-woo or I'm actually wearing an Aloha shirt tonight. I had a couple of meetings, so I had an Aloha shirt on already. I thought I'd leave it on for you guys. No, I didn't shave today. I'm a little scruffy, but at least you guys get the Aloha shirt tonight. I sometimes get up in front of a group and I'll start to mention the word energy. And some people kind of get turned off by it a little bit. And they think, I'm not here to talk about energy. I'm here to talk about goal setting. But here's the deal. We went from a very esoteric system where energy was a part of life, where we knew that energy created our momentum, that it created our drive, our inspiration. And then we went to a very allopathic approach. Allopathic meaning the mind and body are disconnected, that your thoughts have nothing to do with your body. It says at the top of the slide here, it says energy and chemical. Chemical is neurotransmitters, things that are released in your brain that trickle down into every single cell in your body. We validated the mind-body connection, meaning that we know the mind and body is connected. We also have gotten to a point where current research talks about everything boiling down to energy. Physics talks about everything being energy. Quantum physics says at the deepest level of who we are, everything is energy. And most spiritual teachings talk about the fact that we have energy, that we are beings of energy. Now, for those of you that are still sitting there going, yeah, I don't get this stuff, there are two people that are instrumental in these concepts. Number one, I always love giving credit to Deepak Chopra, founder of psychoneuroimmunology, an individual that is on the cutting edge of the mind-body connection. He really set the map. He set the path of this research that validated that our minds and bodies are connected, that this trickle-down effect of our thoughts hits every single cell in our body. I also love to give credit to Dr. Bruce Lipton, a guy that I used to work with, one of our faculty members when I was running a university. He's done some research, and in his book, Biology of Belief, he talks about the fact that energy affects our cells first and foremost. So where we are right now in our society is with a knowledge that we need more energy. But I like to simplify things. I like to keep it really simple. I look out at a group. I'm going to be teaching in Austin next week, and I'll look out at the group and I'll say, how many of you have ever woken up on a day where you had a million things to do and you didn't even want to get out of bed? And you're just sitting there and you're yawning and you're like, oh, I got a list, and no energy. How many of you have ever woken up on a day where you were supposed to relax and do nothing and it was like you were on crack? Good crack, not bad crack. Where you're sitting there all energized and you're bouncing and you get up and you sand the floor and you paint the walls. The problem is we don't teach our kids about energy. We've taught for 400 years that our minds and bodies are disconnected. So what I'm talking about today isn't a woo-woo type of energy. It's the energy that you use to get your things done. And where the current research is, it's basically saying without energy, you're not going to get stuff done. So let's delve a little bit more into energy. We have this model here that comes from Huna. It also comes from my background in health psychology. I'm a doctor of integrative psychology. And psychology uses a concept called the trickle-down effect of energy. So energy trickles down from, and I'm using the word spiritual. For those of you that don't like that word, just imagine energy's there at the top. But based on my background in Huna, a much more spiritual teaching, I put spiritual up there. For some people, that could be religious. It could also be just energy, universal energy, quantum physics, you name it. That's where energy comes from, though. The energy trickles down and affects your thoughts. It affects your focus. It affects your mind. Then that energy trickles down, and the thoughts and beliefs that you have go into your emotional body. Then that lights up your emotions, your positive emotions, your negative emotions. I'm working with one of my clients, and she's working on relationships. And one of the things that when you're getting into a new relationship and you first meet someone, there is such a charge of energy when two people come together. And your thoughts begin to bring you together with this individual. Sometimes when people first get into a relationship, it's like all of their old baggage comes up. It's a natural process of energy trickling down, hitting the emotional aspect of who we are, and giving us an opportunity to just clean that baggage out. In my third book that I wrote about the shadow, and for those of you that don't know what the shadow is, it's the aspect that we believe is not who we are. It's the not me. I know who I am. I know who I'm not. We tend to get into a relationship with someone that helps us explore the depth of who we are because they mirror this for you. This energy, as down into the emotional body, it can bring up all of your baggage. That's an opportunity for you to let it go. That's an opportunity to learn more about who you are and then cultivate the positive emotions, which then lets the energy come all the way down into the physical. The physical aspect being the manifestation. Manifestation deals with career, health and fitness, relationships. What I want to talk to you about tonight is mainly about energy, so that first bubble there at the top. And then the second one, the mental. What you need to do mentally to prepare for your goals. We're not going to be able to cover the emotional or the physical aspects of that today. We're focusing primarily on those first two steps because that's where people need to gain some momentum. That's where they need to get going. One of the very first things, you have this energy built up. You have this drive, this desire to do something. You have this spark that comes in. Ooh, I want to get healthy. I want to have this new career. I want to start a new path in a relationship, whatever it is. As soon as that energy hits, you need to get clear on your focus. Imagine we were all going to hop on a flight from San Diego to Kona. I picked San Diego because the next 3 trainings that I'm going to be doing are Austin, San Jose, San Diego. And after San Diego, I'm going to be heading back home to Kona. When we get on that flight, we expect the pilot to be 100% focused on getting us from where we began to where we finished. We will not accept from the pilot anything other than landing where we need to. All things being equal, we pretty much put a lot of responsibility on this pilot to get us there. I've never heard a pilot come over the air and the radio or whatever on the airplane, the announcement, and say, I just didn't bring my A game today. I'm aiming for Hawaii, but I might get somewhere. Hopefully we'll touch down. You've never heard anything like that. And yet, and I say this from my heart, many people make excuses. They have reasons why they're not going for their goals. Here's what I want to say to you. When it comes to goal setting, when it comes to successful people, they need to be 100% focused on getting there. If the pilot, when we take off from San Diego, is only 99%, if they are 1% off course, they could miss the Hawaiian Islands by 600, 1,000 miles, fly right by their goal and totally miss it. How do you bring your focus? How do you take your focus, bring it into a very targeted, a very direct approach to your goal? Well, first and foremost, you want to take a look at your beliefs. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. An amazing quote by Henry Ford. You want to make sure that your beliefs are in alignment with what it is that you're doing. If you don't believe you can do something, you're probably not going to be able to do it. So the first thing you want to do is take a look at your beliefs. Look at the thoughts that you have in your mind. I also like this quote by Michael Caine. He says, I have a policy, I never listen to anyone explain why he can't do something. His reasoning for that is that, I did a recent webinar on negativity, and this was back in December. If you want to check it out, it's on our YouTube channel. We also have a link to it somewhere. You can email the office. We'll be able to get that to you. Here's the deal. I had this string of emails from students where they were asking me, why is it that the people that are closest to me are the ones that sometimes want to tear me down? I'm a doctor of psychology. I don't fully comprehend why someone would do that, but yet I do know that it's a psychological phenomenon. It is something that people do. Sometimes successful people, they don't want to just focus in on what they're going for. They got to tell other people to back off. They have to tell other people, hey, I don't need to hear this right now. It's really important for you to guard your goals. And by guard your goals, I mean take care of them, cultivate them, nurture them. My daughter is 8 years old, and we were driving to school, and she said to me, I want to be an astronaut, but I don't think I can. I said, why not? And she said, well, I'm not in very good shape right now. And I was like, oh. She's the youngest in her, she's the youngest. She's the youngest in her 3rd grade class. She's of the age to be in 3rd grade, and she's the youngest in that class, which means that from a physical standpoint, some of her friends are 1 year ahead, meaning that when they go run around the track, she doesn't usually end up first. When they swim, she's a little bit slower. And I wanted to give her some reassurance. I wanted to remind her that if you set your mind to something, you can achieve it. I wrote a blog post on Psychology Today, and I said, success begins with a belief. It doesn't make what you want happen. It definitely begins with a belief. So I just gently said to my 8-year-old daughter, I said, Skylar, I was the youngest in my class as well. And I said, and when I was your age, I was out of shape, and I wasn't able to keep up with other people. And I said, it wasn't until high school where all of a sudden I was able to keep up with the people that were my age, because that's when my body caught up. I said, so here's the deal. If you really want to become an astronaut, if this is something that you want to do, it takes dedication. I said, but the first thing you have to do, though, I said, you have to have a belief in yourself. You need to know that this is possible. You've got to surround yourself with people that will support you. Sometimes we waver. Sometimes we forget that we can achieve something. It's helpful to have someone there to pull you out of that darkness, to help lift you up, inspire you. Because when you have that support. You have that buddy. You have that special person. So you really want to begin to focus in on what you want to achieve. Guard your goals from the people around you. And the other thing, this is some more recent information here, the importance of focus. You know, I used to be a big believer in multitasking. I used to be this huge believer in do 10 different things at once and you'll get so much more done. Multitasking, not so good. The study that just recently came out of Stanford University validated through research, not just looking at the brain wave, the brain scans of the individual while they were multitasking, also looking at the end results. And the results of the study were very simple. Are you ready? If you have 3 things to do and you try to do all 3 of them at the same time, you actually get lower results overall in all 3 of those areas. If you just took each of them and did one at a time, you not only get better results, but you tend to do it faster. That multitasking, doesn't matter if you're I had a person, I said this in a recent training, and I had a woman raise her hand, and she said, that's because I read a study that men can't multitask. And I smiled and I laughed and I said, yes, and I understand the physiological basis of that, and I'm not going to bore you with that detail right now. And I said there were women in this study as well. I double-checked that. It wasn't just a study on men who thought that they could multitask, but they really can't. Women are able to multitask easier than men, and in the study, the results were what spoke to me. So I began to look at NLP. How do we in NLP, how do we create momentum? How do we create drive? We model excellence. We model what other successful people do. I don't see a top athlete going out, the Olympics. The Olympics was just a couple years ago. It's coming up again in a few years. I don't see a person on the Olympic team walking out onto the track, getting their shoes all ready, warming up, and then picking up their cell phone and going, oh, I should tweet someone right now. I don't see people doing that. When people are in the middle of a game, I see them focusing in on the game. Top athletes, the most successful individuals on the planet, they focus in on what they're doing. They take everything else and they put it aside. And what they do is they bring their attention and focus into the now, into the moment, because that gives you more momentum. In all areas that you work on, in everything that you do, it is so important to bring your focus and attention into that moment so that you're able to get the best results possible. So those of you who love to multitask, one of the things that I think is really important is that you give an opportunity to the other aspect, to the other side, where you focus in on one thing, get that done, and notice how much more benefit you get out of that. A couple of just really simple examples. I'm going to move on. I read a book by Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Work Week. Really good book, and when I'm teaching a training, I'm going to be working more than 4 hours in that week. And in follow-up presentations, I've seen him say, with certain jobs like, being a surgeon, policeman, whatnot, no, you can't work 4 hours. He said, and you can batch things together. You can bring things together to get more done. I used to answer emails all day, email. Every time one would come up, I'd be having dinner with someone I love, email. I'd be having, a discussion with my daughter, email. What I did was I batched things together, And what that did was it created more momentum. So when it's email time, I sit down, I do my emails, and I'm done. I get them done faster, they're more efficient. And then when I'm hanging out with my daughter, I'm with her 110%. I'm hanging out with her, and we enjoy that moment. I get more benefit out of that. And so I've given up this old idea that multitasking is somehow good. So that's focus. Those are some really simple things that you can add. Now, I was talking about excellence. I was talking about successful people. NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, teaches 5 basic principles for success. Number 1, know your outcome. That's what we're talking about in this webinar. Those of you who have done other trainings with me, whether it's PRAC, Master PRAC, once you got that outcome, you've got to begin to take action. As you're taking action, you have to have sensory acuity, have an awareness of what it is that you're doing so that you can make course corrections. That's called behavioral flexibility, that you can make course corrections when you need to. And then finally, operating from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. These 5 principles for success were modeled from the most successful people on the planet. Now, right now, we're talking about knowing your outcome. In future webinars, we will talk about some of these other things. In fact, I'm not going to put this up yet, but I have a poll, and I'm going to let you guys tell us what you want to hear in upcoming webinars. I'm going to let you guys vote on it. And one of the ones that is in there is sensory acuity. I might do a webinar on sensory acuity if you guys tell me to. If not, I'll do one of the other webinars. But anyway, we'll get to that in just a moment. So let's talk about this first one, knowing your outcome. Knowing your outcome is your target. Knowing your outcome is what you're going for. Here's where I want to talk about 2 different types of outcomes, 2 different types of goals. The first one is what's called an aim, and the second one is called an end. So first of all, an aim is the overall direction. It's the overall energy. One way of looking at it is an umbrella that you put over all of your other goals. What is health and fitness, and why do I want it? That's an example. What is an amazing, beautiful relationship, and why would I want that? That's another example of an aim. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. That's not going to end. That's going to continue on and on and on. An end goal is a specific target. It's an outcome that once you achieve it, you're done. Once you achieve an outcome, you check that off the list, move on to the next one. For example, I want to weigh 160 pounds. Once you hit 160, you got to have a new goal. Both of these are important. Now, I want to put this into more of the health and fitness aspect. I topped out at 235 pounds. And on a 5'9" frame, that's obese. I was literally obese as an individual. And coming out of high school, I sat there and I went, I have no more goals. The first thing that I did, rather than taking a step back and going, I really should apply some of this NLP stuff, I just jumped right into it. And I'm like, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to work out, 5 days a week. I'm going to eat healthy. I set a goal about eating. I set a goal about weighing a certain amount. I think my initial target was 185. The lowest I got down to was 155. And I thought, if I can just get to 155, fit into a size 30 pants again, I will feel so good about myself. And when I got there, it didn't feel like anything. All of a sudden, I'm wearing skinny pants again, and I'm like kind of shrugging my shoulders going, I don't know, it felt good, but it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't satisfying. So this is when I really began to open up my eyes and go, okay, what have I missed here? And I was in the middle of teaching, and it was in Florida. I was in Tampa, and I had a great group of people. It was a wonderful training. We're out there in Tampa, Florida. And I was teaching, and someone said to me, yeah, but I've set these goals of weighing a certain amount or having a certain amount of money. And this one guy came up to me on break, and he said, I've achieved them, and it doesn't mean anything to me. And I said, okay, let me talk about aim versus end. I talked about it with that group, and it reminded me, I don't have an aim. An aim is, I want to live a healthy lifestyle. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. Because once I defined what that aim was, once I defined what health and fitness is and why I want it, it gave guidance to my end goals. Let me say that again. This is very important. You have aim goals and you have end goals. An aim is, I want to be healthy. That's never going to end. You always want to be healthy. An end goal is, I want to do a certain number of pull-ups. I want to be able to run a certain distance. Once you achieve that, you need to set your next end goal. I don't set end goals that are outside of my aim. Let me say that again. I have an umbrella, which is the aim of here is what health and fitness is. I sometimes have people that come up to me and they say, my friend on here, Greg. Greg is an amazing individual. He's heading up our fitness division of the Empowerment Partnership. He's helping people get not just physical fitness, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical fitness. He's one of our newest team members here, and he's going to be at all the upcoming practitioner trainings. You guys are going to get to meet him there. I love Greg, former major in the Marine Corps, amazing individual. I don't know why, but he likes this whole Ironman thing. And I'm from Kona, man. I'm from the birthplace of the Ironman. And I'm just not going to do an Ironman. He's like, no, we'll do a half Ironman. He has some sort of deep-seated need to get me to torture myself in an Ironman. Greg, I'm joking, buddy. I know Greg's on here. He could unmute himself and respond. But look, here's the deal. I don't have a desire to do an Ironman. It's outside of my aim. Here's what I want to say. I have an umbrella, which is called my aim for health and fitness. All of my goals that I have for health and fitness fit under that umbrella. Right now, and I could change my mind later, right now, running an Ironman, it seems like it's outside of that aim. So I have no desire to do it. But the old me might have done that. The old me might have been, hell yeah, I'll do it. And I would do those sorts of things. And then I would finish it and go, so what? Yeah, I've done things in my life where I go, okay, that was neat, but who cares? An aim gives you guidance. So how do you structure an aim? First of all, you need to have an aim and an end in every area of your life. Successful people have an aim and an end in every single area. A successful person is going to understand what that area means to them, why it's important, and then they're going to have some specific end goals in each of those areas. I have found in working with successful people that they not only have an aim in all 6 of these areas right here, they have an active end goal. An active end goal means something that they are going for specifically, that when they're done, they can set another one. So aim. How do you bring an aim? Writing your aim is actually very simple. The first thing is you write down on paper what area you're working on. Health and fitness. Good. What does health and fitness mean to me? That's what you say to yourself. Not what does it mean to me, Dr. Matt. What does it mean to you? What does health and fitness mean to me? That is the very first question that I asked myself. I began to define health and fitness. Now, look, I'm in probably the best shape I've ever been in my entire life. Better shape than I was in high school. I am absolutely certain of that. And there's no way I am physically ready for a picture on the front of Men's Health magazine. Nope. There are certain things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy having a nice glass of wine every once in a while. I enjoy, if we go out to dinner, to eat the type of foods that I want. I also love spending time with people that I care about deeply and enjoy being around. So for me, when I began to define health and fitness, I used to think health and fitness meant looking a certain way, having, abs of steel, buns of steel, and all of a sudden I took a step back and I went, that's not what it means to me. That's why I never achieved those goals. Yeah, it'd be neat, but so what? Once I achieved it, I'd be like, okay, done, scratch that one off the list, but I wouldn't feel satisfied. So I took a step back and I said, okay, what area am I working on? Health and fitness. What does health and fitness mean to me? As I began to delve into all of the things that health and fitness meant, I began to realize this is why some of my previous goals failed, because they were outside of the scope of what this meant. By having a clear understanding of what that area means to you, it guides your end goals. It guides your targets. The next thing is you want to build up your inspiration. You want to build up your purpose, your desire. The way you do that is you begin to write out, why do I want this? This being that definition of health and fitness. When you can define your why, when you can define your purpose, it brings in so much inspiration for what you're doing. I was recently asked by someone why I wanted to do something. I just blurted out, here's something that I want to achieve as a goal. And I was asked very specifically, why do you want that? And I was able to continue talking for about 5 minutes, detailing exactly why I wanted to it. And as I was saying those things, I got lit up. I mean, seriously motivated. I remember now, this is why, and I want to do it. When you know your why, you have some passion, you have some inspiration. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Once you have the area, what it means, your why, your passion, that's when you get into the end goal. End goal, you write as a SMART goal. SMART goal is a very simple approach to achieving your goals. Now, one of the reasons why you want to write a SMART goal, this, for those of you that this is your first time on a webinar with me, you've never done any other trainings, this goes more to the people that are on here that have done practitioner, master practitioner. You have your unconscious or your subconscious mind that drives you consciously to wanting a goal. Yet some people's behaviors do not match the goal at all. It's like they're pulled off in a totally different direction. The very first fix for this problem right here, and an example of this problem is wanting to be healthy, and yet you go out to dinner and you order dessert and you're cleaning the plate. And as you're taking every single bite, you're literally saying to yourself, I shouldn't be eating this. And yet you eat it and you eat it. Being in a career that you absolutely hate, and you go to work every day dreading it, you tell the people there, I can't stand this place, you tell your friends, your family members, I should quit, but you keep doing the behavior. The bulk of who we are from research is our unconscious mind. 90 to 95% of who we are is our subconscious or our unconscious mind. The first thing that you need to do from a goal-setting perspective, the conscious mind is the goal setter. If you don't have a goal, you don't even have a target. So the very first thing that you have to do, once you have that energy, that spark, is you got to have a target out there. So you have the energy, the spark, you've set your aim, now you need to put a target out there, and that target gives you a direction. Now, after that, when you're dealing with the beliefs and the emotional aspect of that trickle-down effect, that's when you work on getting those two arrows aligned. So for those of you that have done prac, master prac, that's where you begin to apply your tools and techniques. You don't apply the tools and techniques first. You put that target out there, which helps you to bring up the baggage. And then what you do is you delve into that. You use your mental and emotional release to get rid of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. You use your swish pattern to get rid of unwanted behaviors. You use your chain of anchors to get highly motivated. You use the techniques that you have in order to get those two arrows aligned. For those of you that have done master prac, you delve into your values. You align your values with who you are. You get rid of your move away froms. So the key point here is the goal gives you a direction, which then gives you an opportunity to work on the other stuff that comes up. So we're talking about SMART goaling. An easy to remember approach to goal setting is the word SMART. And I know so many people out there do this, NLP SMART goal. Specific, measurable, achievable, what resources you want, and toward what you want. Let me break these down briefly. I'm going to go into a little bit detail with each, and then we're going to continue on. So here's how you write goals. And again, this was modeled from how successful people do it. Number one, you want your goal to be successful. I want to lose weight. That's not specific. I want to lose 10 pounds. Very good. That's specific. In health and fitness, I would also include in there what dress size do you want to be in? Not me. I don't wear dresses as much as I used to. But anyway, pants, what pant size you want to be in, what shirt size you're wearing. All of these things you apply into the specifics. Throw everything in there. Also, make it measurable. Saying you want to lose 10 pounds is not measurable. It's much better to say, I want to weigh X number of pounds, 155, 160, 120, 110, whatever it is. That gives you a clearer target as opposed to what you want to get rid of. Making it measurable means that it gives you an opportunity to be able to measure how close you are. I know that 10 pounds does as well. It's not as clear as, oh, here's my test. You should be able to take your goal written, hand it to someone. They should be able to read it and totally get it. And if you don't tell them what your target weight is, they're going to have to ask. You shouldn't have to ask. A complete written goal is going to be specific and measurable. Okay, achievable. We've got to have a talk here for a second. I teach what could be seen as personal growth and development. And as a personal growth and development teacher, I'm supposed to say to you, anything is possible. Okay, sure. Anything's possible. I could win the lottery. Actually, I don't pick up lottery tickets, so I'm probably not going to. Someone I know could win the lottery. I could get hit by lightning. Who knows? Anything is possible. And all things being equal, I'm not going to play in the Masters tournament of golf. I'm not going to win Wimbledon men's singles. I played tennis in high school, and I'm still not going to win singles. This is not a limiting belief. I'm in my 40s. The oldest person to ever win men's, and for those of you who don't know what Wimbledon is, it's a premier tennis tournament. It's one of the 4 big ones on the planet. The oldest guy to ever win it was one of my heroes as a kid growing up, Andre Agassi, an amazing individual. God, he won it. I think he was in his mid to late 30s. This guy was playing tennis since he was an embryo. I mean, he literally in the womb had a tennis racket. And so he'd been playing tennis his entire life. And no one has ever been able to achieve that. Any later than that, it's not going to happen. So here's what I like to do. I like to use this thing called the internet. Go online, find out what has someone else done that is so amazing, and model that. God, did someone lose 50 pounds? What's the healthiest way that you can lose that amount of weight? In what amount of time? How long did that take that person? And that's how you set your goal. You go online and you do research. When I used to teach this in the 90s, I would have to talk to people about figuring this stuff out. Now we have this thing called the internet. Go online, look it up. What's the longest it's taken for someone to achieve that level of health? Career. How long has it taken someone to achieve that level of money in their career or that promotion that you want? In other words, take the time to find out, is what you're doing realistic, achievable? That's the A. The R stands for resources. I don't know. There are some things that you can do alone, and quite frankly, I have found over the years that to have someone that you can rely on, to have someone that you can go to have someone that is able to support you is huge in all areas. In career, I don't do this alone. I have 2 amazing individuals on this call that are helping out, Greg and Adrian. I have another person on here. His name's Ted. Ted's done all of our websites. I think Ted's still on here. I could scroll down, but I probably can't. Ted has done all of our websites and has been with us for years. In the 90s, I used to do web programming. There's no way that I could do that now. I rely on him. I rely on him to not just do our web programming, to help out with our marketing, our advertising. You can't do things alone. What resources do you need? When I went back to school to become a doctor, I needed my son to get on board with me doing this. I think he was 5 at the time, 5 or 6. And I sat him down and I said, I'm going back to school. I said, I need your support. He said, I can't help you. I said, yes, you can. I said, because it's going to take a lot of time in the day. I said, I need you to be patient with me because there are going to be times where I'm doing homework and I'm going to be so focused on my homework. You can always sit next to me. You can always be buddies and work together. I said, I really need to do this. He got on board. He helped me out. It was huge. The T, toward what you want. When you write your goal, it should be about what you want, not what you don't want. Those of you who've done NLP, that's really simple. For those of you that haven't, this is your first time here, it's not just positive thinking. It's, I want to weigh a certain amount, not I don't want to feel awful about. I used to feel terrible about my health and fitness. I used to feel awful about my career. I mean, you name it. Every area I've gone through a downtime. Your goal is about what you want, not what you don't want. It's the carrot versus the stick. Your goal shouldn't be about avoiding getting that stick smacked up against you again. It should be about that carrot, that thing that you're going for. This formula right here is going to help you get really clear on goal setting, what you're going for from an end goal perspective. Very specific, measurable, achievable, what resources you need, and specifically toward what you want. That's called NLP SMART goaling. Now, once you have that, you got to get motivated. I talked earlier about your why. That comes from the aim. The reason why the why is so important is when you don't have why, you lose your inspiration. Once I set my end goal, I go back to my aim and I remember deep inside, why do I want this? What's my drive? What's my motivation? You know how some people do for their why? They do a vision board, and they put the vision board at the edge of their bed, so every morning they wake up, they take a look at it. You put the most important thing in the middle of that vision board, because then when you look at it, it drives you. It gives you that motivation, that why, and you tend to achieve those things. Not everybody does vision boards. Maybe they have something that pops up on their phone at a certain time during the day in order to truly inspire you, to remind you of these things. Maybe it's getting on the phone with someone and talking with them. Maybe it's you having something that you read all the time, something that inspires you. Whatever it is, you need to keep hold of that why. You need to keep hold of it because it brings purpose. And purpose brings power. Purpose brings power to what it is that you're doing. It brings a drive. It brings a motivation. It brings in some momentum. Meaning gives you momentum with something that you're doing. You know, I don't work out every day, and I'm on average 5 to 6 days a week I work out. I don't teach every single day. I've been teaching neuro-linguistic programming since the 90s. I'm in my third decade of teaching. I'm about to go to Austin, and I feel momentum, I feel power, I feel inspiration to do it because I have a why. I have a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And when you do, you make every moment count. You make every second count, and you truly enjoy it. That why that you have from your aim becomes your rocket. It becomes your energy. It becomes your focus. So let's wrap up. Let's bring this all together because I think we've been going about an hour here. I can't see. We've been going about 50 minutes. So that is going to give me a little bit of time to answer some questions. That's going to be great. So let me summarize here. Number one, how do you improve your energy and focus? Batch and group things together. That gives you maximum momentum. Take things that you're doing in the day, bring it together. If you're going to have dinner with someone that you care about deeply, take your phone, put it face down, and just enjoy that time with that person. Turn the TV off. Heck, some of the most successful relationships that I've ever heard about from other people, they don't even have a TV in the bedroom. That distracts from you being present with your partner, with the person that you love so much. Take that time and focus in. If it's health and fitness, turn everything else off and zone in. Get into that health and fitness. In my career, I'm going to be in Austin, and when I get up on stage, my phone is face down, and I'm with the group 110%. That's the things that you do together for maximum momentum. Set some goals, an aim and an end. Be very clear. Oh, and write them out. I didn't emphasize this earlier. You really want to write your goals out. You want to get your goals very clearly stated because when a goal is written, you're able to go in and look at it and modify it. If you don't write your goal down and it's in your head, it doesn't create any direction, it doesn't create any momentum. Most of your goals are going to need to imply action. By writing your goal, you imply action from the very beginning. Let me say that again. Almost every goal that you write is going to require action. So if you start off your goal by only having it in your head, you're starting off without taking any action. The reason why writing goals is so important, and you have heard people say this over and over again, write your goals down. The reason why writing goals is so important is because writing a goal down implies that you're going to take action because you're taking action from the very beginning. So don't just write out an aim and an end. Make sure that you take action with your goals. And then finally, oops, I turned off my slides there. Sorry about that. Finally, to increase your motivation, find your why. Find your passion. Get that from the aim and make it those jet engines that you use to get to where it is that you want to go. Awesome. Okay, so before I talk about, our upcoming trainings and whatnot, I'm going to keep that really simple. And before I talk about what we're giving away as a free gift tonight, because I always like to thank you guys for being on here. We have over 200 people on. That's an awesome average. Usually we only have about 20% of the people that sign up show up. So we had 754 sign up. We got 237 people on here right now. Thank you guys so much for spending the time. Let me scroll through here and see if I can find any questions. I'm going to have to take my slides down. Chris gave me a shout out. Awesome. Loud and clear. Nice. Jane, big hugs from Brazil, man. Jane's on here from Brazil. I got people on here from Brazil, from Canada. I'm getting a lot of highs. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and just see if I can grab some questions. Hi to everyone that said hi. Thank you all so much. Okay, this is from Gabriel. Gabriel, What do you recommend for dealing with the ups and downs of creating and setting goals, the ups and downs of daily life? To me, the books that I'm writing, Gabriel, the books that I'm writing deal with purpose. I'm writing a series of 3 books. My first book was about Huna. It was about energy. It was about the spiritual teachings that I love so much. I'm writing 3 books about how do you become an authentic individual in your life? How do you, on all levels, resonate with what it is that you have, what you do? And it boils down to finding purpose. I find that a lot of people have ups and downs in the day because they don't have that motivation. They don't have that why. It may not be the case for you. A simple answer for this webinar here today is discover your why. Discover your passion. For some people, the ups and downs come from baggage, and my heart goes out to anyone that goes through that. I've experienced that in every single area of my life. If you have a lot of anger, if you have a lot of sadness, that can create ups and downs because the baggage comes up. You get triggered, and it can put you into your baggage. I can tell you, and I'm not going to be able to do this on a webinar, there are techniques that can help you out. I mean, I teach some, so do a lot of gifted people. There are a lot of people out there that teach techniques. Find the one that resonates with you. The 3 requisites that you do to create change in your life, because what you're basically asking me, Gabriel, is how do I change something that's going on? There are 3 basic requisites. Number 1, you got to get rid of the baggage and have a clear goal. Okay, we talked about goal setting. You got to get rid of baggage. It's all wrapped up in that first one. You have a goal, get rid of your baggage. That's a clear first step. The second step is take action. If you've let go of your baggage, if you're free and clear of it and you have a goal and you're still having ups and downs, maybe that isn't the job for you. If your job, I recently, when I taught in LA, a person came up to me in LA and said, God, you just helped me let go of my anger. It was on the last day we're doing the mental and emotional release. And she said, I feel awful about my job. I said, there's nothing else you can do except get out of that job. If your relationship is making you feel awful and you don't feel fulfilled, I say this from my heart, then you either got to take some action to correct that relationship or find the one that's going to inspire you. If you have ups and downs in your health and fitness, maybe there's some action that you need to take to get going. Once you're doing that, once you got your goal, you've let go of your baggage, you're taking action, then the third thing is maintain your focus. The third thing is to hell with what anyone else says. This is what brings me passion. This is what inspires me. And when you do those things, you can create change in your life. Gabriel, I hope that helps out a little bit there. Oh, Louise, you're welcome. I'm getting a lot of thank yous on here. I really do appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Melinda, great webinar. Will this be recorded and available? That's an easy question. Absolutely. We have a YouTube channel. If you go to my website, drmatt.com, drmatt.com, yeah, on the right-hand side, there's a little link for YouTube. You can go there, and we pop up all of our videos there. There's videos of me doing demos. There's content videos. There's old webinars. You're going to find an old goal-setting webinar. Adrian, we might want to take that one down and focus on this one. This one I added in aim and end, and I think it's probably much more beneficial, a little bit more current. So that's how we keep in touch with you guys. How do you get to the root? This is from Catherine. Catherine, thank you for the question. How do we get to the root when you're having problems finding your why? I would need to dig a little bit deeper with that question. How do you get to your root? Sometimes the root of the issue prevents you from seeing the why. Kind of like a weed. You can trim off the tops of the weed. How you get to the root is learning more about your unconscious, learning more about how you tick. How do you store memories? How do you encode values, beliefs? I'm a lifelong learner, Catherine. I'm a huge lifelong learner. And, you know, your last name is Kenyon, Catherine. Masterprac, Catherine? My anger demo from Masterprac a while ago, God, I got to scroll all the way down and see if you even answer that. Last Catherine Kenyon that I remember was at Masterprac with me a couple of years ago. Redhead. Yep, that's you. I have a decent memory. Catherine, I remember you. How do you get to the root? You're a master practitioner. You got to do a detailed personal history. Master practitioner tool. How do you get to the root? You find the greater problem. Sometimes you need someone out there to help you with it. You know, when I was at rock bottom with my health and fitness, I went and worked with someone to help uncover the deeper issue. Listen very carefully. I am 100% okay asking someone else for help. I'm a master trainer of NLP. I'm a doctor of psychology. sometimes I need someone else's perspective to help me figure out what I need to do. And so maybe it's time to have someone help you out. I know your mom did Master Prac with you. I think you were sitting next to her the entire time. I think she volunteered you for the demo that I did. But anyway, awesome. Okay, good. Catherine, that's okay. Let's see what other questions we have. I got time for one more question. What do I got here? Lucas. Hey, Lucas, are you Lucas, the guy that did the, were you my demo in a practitioner training somewhere? Anyway, Lucas, that may or may not be you. I know a couple of Lucases, but anyway, will this be, the title be on YouTube, easy to find? Yeah, I think it'll be the most recent one. Okay, awesome. Here we go. We're right at about an hour. I know there's a ton of questions on here. Adrian will look through some of these questions, any of the ones that we think are really big. Oh, we got to do our poll before I wrap up. Let me put this poll up here. What would you like covered in the next webinar? You guys help me out. This is for attendees only. This is for you guys on here. If you're watching the recording, you don't get to vote. It's kind of over and done with. So here are the things that are an option for us. Number one, sensory acuity. Adrian has such an awesome sense of humor. We're going to teach you ninja awareness. I'm going to go over a 1-hour presentation on sensory acuity. Those of you who have been to a prac, I'll probably do a little bit of a different spin on it. The second one is perception is projection. Let me explain what perception is projection is. That is how we hold in our mind our external reality and how it affects our results. Swish pattern, getting rid of unwanted states or behaviors. I won't be able to do a demo, but we'll probably give you a video link for a demo. Getting rid of unwanted states or behaviors. Wealth mastery, getting the money to flow to you. Talking about straight up making more money. I'm going to get really values level orange and get really specific on bringing in some cash. Or just straight up empowerment, getting rid of your excuses and becoming totally empowered. So what I want you to do right now is just quickly vote. I'm going to keep this open a little bit longer. I'm going to keep it open for another 30 seconds. These are the big 5. What we're going to do is we're going to take the top 2, and those will be our next upcoming webinars. And that way, if they're awesome, I'll give you guys total credit, and if they're not, I'll let everyone know you voted. No, I'm joking. All right, I'm going to close this out in 5 seconds. 5. Oh my God, 67% of you guys have already voted. That's close to 200 people getting in their votes there. We got 70%. All right, I'm going to close the poll. If you're still wanting to vote, it's okay. We've got over 70% of you guys voted on this. Let me share the results with you. There we go. All right. 40% of you said, show me the money. All right, I hear you loud and clear. Whoa, sensory acuity and empowerment both got really close there. But 20% beats out 19%. I think my math is still working pretty well on that. So our next 3 upcoming webinars are going to be about wealth mastery. Then we'll do sensory acuity. Then we'll do empowerment. We'll do another poll then. And if you missed the polls, hey, that's all right. We'll come back to them later on. But so just to wrap up and to thank you guys. Oh, let me take down this slide. Let me go to the, I actually have to go through that to get to the next one. Just to thank you guys. I always love to give back. I want to help you guys out. After this webinar, you're going to receive an email from our office. You're going to receive an email with a link for a free MP3 download. If you're listening to this as a recording and it's in the future, that link is going to be gone. You got to jump on a current webinar. We're going to keep the link live for just a little while. You can download a free MP3 to help you with goal setting. It's called Prometheus Induction, and it helps you attract energy to you so that you're able to achieve the goals that you want. It is an amazing recording. It used to be in-house only. It was for our office staff. We would set our goals and then go home that night and listen to it. And one of my staff members talked about it, and the student that they talked to was like, you got to give me this. We turned it into a product. It is a great, helpful way to attract energy to you. For those of you that want to learn more, we're going to do a discount on our Empowering Your Life CD set. A way of getting rid of the baggage, a way of setting goals, way more detailed. It is a recording of a 3-day training on getting rid of baggage and heading towards your goals. For those of you that want to even invest more time and opportunity and take this to a whole nother level, this month, January, next week, I'm in Austin, Texas. Then I'm going to be in San Jose and San Diego. San Jose, San Diego, I'm going to be driving down to San Diego from San Jose. That's the first 2 weeks of February. We do a practitioner training that's normally, in 2010, our practitioner training was roughly $3,500. If you follow our link on Facebook to Living Social, you can get into our practitioner training for $97. That's it. $97 gives you an opportunity to experience our practitioner training. So here's what I want you guys to do. get that free MP3. That one's free. No strings, all yours. For those of you that want to delve into a little bit deeper, release some baggage and get even better at your goal setting, empowering your life. And for those of you that are meeting for the very first time next week in Austin, in San Jose, and San Diego, come up to me. Let me know what you thought about the webinar, and hopefully we will have an amazing time there. It's going to be a great opportunity to get to know each other and also delve into this material. So thank you all very much. You know, it's a little bit late here on the West Coast. Also, for those of you on the East Coast joining, Brazil, anyone from Australia, Europe, thank you all so much. Aloha. See you guys in a future class. Take care. Ahui ho. Bye-bye.